Howdy, everybody. This is Andrew from the Fallout feed, and here are a few excerpts from our interview with Jonah Lobe, who was an artist for Bethesda. He worked on Oblivion Shivering Isles, also Skyrim, Fallout 3, and Fallout 4. Please find the whole thing over on the Fallout feed. Thanks a lot, everybody.
You know, I think that the wonderful thing about Bethesda games in particular is that it's all about the player's journey and you carving your own path through this world. You know, the main quest never really matters that much with, you know, when placed against the idea that, oh, I just started the game and now I get 360 degrees of direction to choose from, and I can just start walking and I have my adventure. So having that world populated by a whole host of new and exciting quests and monsters and graphics and etc. I mean, there's absolutely everything to be gained from that. It would be nice to sit next to a giant, because I think, you know, I modeled the giant after his face is basically kind of, it looks very similar to my father's face.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah, it's like a blend between my father and my uncle. I mean, if you want to know what the giants are based on, that's it.
That's cool.
And I also, you know, worked very hard on his hands to make them look wrinkled and old and strong. And again, kind of like, you know, how you would look at your parents' hands when you're little and you have little hands and all that. So I think sitting next to my giant would make me feel, even though I think he'd be very stinky and I think he'd have like that like cheese sweat from eating all that mammoth cheese. I think I would, you know, once you clogged up your nose, you could kind of like maybe cuddle up next to him. So that would be nice. Ayla the Huntress's outfit from Skyrim, I didn't really have any concept art for. I was just told, you know, imagine Red Sonja, like that kind of outfit. But this was for the female jogger. And so, you know, imagine Red Sonja, but just dead. And so I designed that, and then it kind of got retrofitted to be on Ayla the Huntress. Well, so I'm going to say a couple of things, and they might sound a bit unpopular to some. For that, I apologize, but I won't back down. One of those things would be is play fewer video games and spend more time on your craft. That's not easy to say, but I think that, you know, people who a lot of people who want to be in the game industry do that because they love games. I mean, actually, that's probably 100% of them. But I think a lot of those people are also, like me, a little addicted to games. We tend to fool ourselves into thinking that if I'm doing this, it's really research of some kind. And sometimes it is. Often it's not. What I think can make people stand out in the crowd and stand out in the industry is bringing new ideas to the table. New ideas, not recycled ideas. So I think what that entails, or should entail, and what I would recommend is, I think people who aspire to be part of the game industry, they're aspiring to be creators. And to be creators, you have to consume from many different sources, not just, and I don't mean many different games. I mean from the real world, from history, from literature, and basically just try to get the best education you can that way. I mean, seek out education. I don't mean go to a nice school. I mean, find things to learn about and be passionate about and learn about them, because these things all pay back when you in the process of creation. I can tell you that there's an Easter egg that I left in Skyrim.
Yes, please.
The dragon bone armor that I made has an armband. Has metal armbands, and with the kind of inset with this kind of circular white bone, and there's dragon language around that. And shall I tell you what it is, or should you just Google it? I'll just tell you, because it's just
please
Google
tell
away.
us.
I just wrote my name. It says, I think it says Jonah Lobe in dragon language around the biceps.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so that's one I left. But with regards to Shivering Isles, you know, I also didn't know the team well enough to be aware of Easter eggs as they went in. I can tell you that one of my first creatures that I ever made for the Elder Scrolls was the Scalon from Shivering Isles, and the first time, my first big memorable moment where I felt I was being recognized at Bethesda was during a team meeting, and they showcased in a very quick AVI file the Scalon jumping forward with a big a big jump forward attack. And up until then, nobody had ever seen. We hadn't done that yet at Bethesda. No creature ever actually lunged at you with a big attack. This is the pre-Deathclaw, pounce. And I remember everyone really, really got excited, and I felt this flush of victory, watching it, because I was like, wow, I'm at Bethesda, and all these other people seem really excited by the thing I just made, and and it was a cool thing, and then it was cool to see that animation and that capability get created there and then used more and more with more creatures later on. That was fun. I made the Shivering Isles gate. The three-headed gate, and then when Skyrim came along and we didn't have any concept art for the Wabbajack, I decided I would go ahead and echo the Shivering Isles motif with the 3 faces around the outside. I made the Dark Seducer and Golden Saints armors. I made one of the worst things I ever made was this. It was called the Skinned Hound or something from Shivering Isles. And it was basically like a dog that had all its fur peeled off. It did not look good. It was bad.